could and that the doctor approved. The president saying, what do you have to lose? And then saying it was preventative, saying he'd not been exposed to coronavirus. This all comes amid the FDA warning about the drug, the risk of heart rhythm problems. The FDA saying the drug should not be taken for coronavirus outside a hospital or clinical trial. Our chief White House correspondent, Jonathan Karl, on what he's learned about the president and what he says he's now taking. The other headline tonight involves potentially promising news in the race for a vaccine here in the U.S. Tonight, what the company now says the early trials are showing. Reopening America, all 50 states partially reopening by Wednesday of this week. The crowds on beaches, packed bars and restaurants, leading to questions about being cautious, keeping a safe distance. And tonight, America's big three automakers back online, what some workers shouted at the cameras. Some saying they should not be returning to work. Others saying it's the risk they have to take to get paid, to put food on the table. Tonight, hear the images, the temperature checks, other measures inside the factories. And the numbers out of Texas after reopening its biggest one-day spike in cases over the weekend. There is news tonight involving Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, President Trump firing the Inspector General at the State Department. The president late today saying Secretary Pompeo asked him to fire the IG, and so he did. Pompeo now saying he did not know he was under investigation by the IG. Martha Raddatz standing by. That deadly terror attack at a naval base in Florida and what we now know. Federal authorities now revealing the suspect had ties to Al-Qaeda, allegedly in contact with the group the night before the attack. We're tracking the tropical storm Arthur off the East Coast tonight and the tornado watches elsewhere as we come on the air. And remembering the famous actor, the beloved troublemaker from one of the most iconic shows.
This is ABC World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening, and it's great to have you with us here tonight as we begin another week together as America begins the slow and very challenging task of reopening. But it was the president who late today surprised reporters when he said he has been taking hydroxychloroquine for a week and a half. He said he asked a White House doctor who then approved it, and the president added it was preventative, that he has not been exposed to COVID-19. But of course, it led to immediate questions about why he's taking it, with the FDA warning that no one should be taking the drug for coronavirus outside a hospital or clinical trial. It comes as this country marks another grim milestone. More than 90,000 American lives lost and more than 1.5 million confirmed cases now. And as the country slowly reopens, the challenges have been immediate. How do you contain crowds? How do you get some to continue social distancing to prevent any additional outbreaks? A crowded Los Angeles beach, the line outside a popular bar, that's from Cincinnati tonight. In New York City, park police using a banner to encourage social distancing. And in Michigan, workers returning to factories, some saying they should not be going back yet. Others saying it's the risk you have to take to get back to work, to get a paycheck. And all of this amid that potentially promising news on a vaccine tonight. But of course, the headline that immediately took over all the others when late today the president said he's been taking hydroxychloroquine for more than a week. And so we begin tonight with ABC's Jonathan Karl.
The announcement came out of the blue. In response to a totally unrelated question, the president announced he has been taking the unproven drug hydroxychloroquine to protect himself from COVID-19.
A lot of good things have come out about the hydroxy. A lot of good things have come out. I happen to be taking it. Hydroxychloroquine? I'm taking it, hydroxychloroquine.
When?
Right now, yeah. A couple of weeks ago, I started taking it. Because I think it's good. I've heard a lot of good stories. And if it's not good, I'll tell you right. I'm not going to get hurt by it.
For some 2 months, the president has been promoting hydroxychloroquine, a drug used to treat malaria, among other things, as a treatment for coronavirus. And just last month, the FDA warned against using the drug for COVID-19 outside of hospitals or clinical trials because it could cause heart problems.
Did the White House doctor recommend that you take that? Is that why you're taking it?
Yeah, White House doctor. Didn't recommend. No, I asked him, what do you think? He said, well, if you'd like it. I said, yeah, I'd like it. I'd like to take it. A lot of people are taking it.
The president, who regularly gets tested for coronavirus, said he is taking the drug as a preventative, not because he has tested positive or has any symptoms.
Can you explain, sir, though, what is the evidence that it has a preventative effect?
Here we go. You ready? Here's my evidence. I get a lot of positive calls about it. And I say, hey, you know the expression I've used, John? What do you have to lose? Okay, what do you have to lose?
The president's revelation came hours after he got a surprise of his own from Attorney General William Barr. who threw cold water on his efforts to accuse Barack Obama and Joe Biden of unspecified crimes.
Obamagate. It's been going on for a long time.
But today, the Attorney General announced he does not expect there will be a criminal investigation of either former President Obama or former Vice President Biden.
And as long as I'm Attorney General, the criminal justice system will not be used for partisan political ends. And this is especially true for the upcoming elections in November.
What do you think of Mr. Barr's decision?
But if it was me, I guarantee they'd be going after me. In his case, they're not. So I think it's just a continuation of a double standard. I'm surprised by it.
President Obama has recently broken his silence, criticizing the Trump administration in private.
It has been an absolute chaotic disaster.
And in thinly veiled comments during a pair of commencement addresses over the weekend.
This pandemic has finally torn back the curtain on the idea that so many of the folks in charge know what they're doing. A lot of them aren't even pretending to be in charge.
Yeah.
Reaction to President Obama's speeches over the weekend?
Look, I think he was an incompetent president.
That was the reaction to President Obama over the weekend from President Trump today. But let's get right to Jon Karl at the White House. John, I want to get back to the news late today. The president has been touting, of course, hydroxychloroquine for more than 2 months now. Have you learned anything more tonight about what prompted him to start taking it now?
Well, no direct answer from the White House, David, but if you look at the timeline here, the president says he's been taking this drug for about a week and a half. That means that he began taking it just days or perhaps the day after his personal valet tested positive for coronavirus, and also the vice president's press secretary.
A lot of people going back to check the timeline, Jon Karl among them, and our thanks to you leading us off tonight, John. This, of course, led to so many questions. What should people at home who are worried about the virus make of all this today? So I want to bring in our chief medical editor, Dr. Jen Ashton, tonight. And Jen, bottom line here, what has the FDA been warning about this drug, and what would you say to your patients who come to your office about taking hydroxychloroquine as a preventative measure, as the president says he's now doing?
Well, David, there are numerous clinical trials on hydroxychloroquine and prevention. They're recruiting patients right now, but according to the FDA, hydroxychloroquine and chloroquine have not been shown to be safe and effective for treating or preventing COVID-19. So in keeping with evidence-based medicine, since there may be some risk, there is no data at this time to support its use for prevention.
All right, Dr. Jen Ashton, who continues to follow this for us as well. Jen, thank you. In the meantime, we're going to turn now to that promising news in the race for a vaccine here in the U.S. News on the first stage vaccine trial, Moderna, reporting so far that their vaccine is safe and that it produced antibodies at about the same levels as patients who have now recovered from the infection. And so ABC's Steve Osunsami tonight on what comes next and the timeline now.
It's the break the whole world has been hoping for. An American company working on a vaccine for the coronavirus says that all 45 of their test patients tonight are producing antibodies that fight the disease.
It's been like almost nothing. It's literally, it's been like getting a flu shot.
Norman Hume of Atlanta feels great this evening, and that matters to everyone because today he received his second dose of a vaccine being produced by Moderna Labs. His first was a month ago.
The ability to have one small role in just getting beyond this pandemic is an amazing opportunity.
In these early results, those 45 patients developed the same level of antibodies as someone who has recovered from COVID-19. The company then tested the blood of 8 of those patients against the actual coronavirus, and in all 8 cases, the virus was killed.
But are those antibodies likely to be protective? Are they neutralizing the virus? And actually, we saw, in fact, in all cases they were, which was really encouraging.
Any day now, they plan to move on to phase 2 testing, where about 600 patients will get the 2 shots, and scientists will watch for any surprises. By July, they expect to move to the next level, between 1,000 and 10,000 patients testing the vaccine. And if all goes well, they hope the drug can be ready by the end of the year. The president has the same goal, calling it Operation Warp Speed.
Its objective is to finish developing and then to manufacture and distribute a proven coronavirus vaccine as fast as possible.
But just making the drug in millions of doses and getting it to Americans is complicated. And scientists say it's still not clear if this vaccine will truly be effective in real use.
The fact that the Moderna vaccine has been shown to be safe and generate a robust immune response in small numbers of patients is very promising. but now it has to be proven in larger numbers.
Steve Osunsami with us live from the CDC. And Steve, in terms of manufacturing, Dr. Anthony Fauci has said best case scenario could take 6 to 9 months to ramp up from when there's a test, and that's if everything goes smoothly.
Yes, David, even if this vaccine were ready to go today, you still have to put it into something that can be shipped across the country, potentially across the world. These vaccines are also temperature sensitive, so this will require a bit of time and collaboration. David?
There is still so much hope surrounding these vaccine trials, Steve. Thank you. And with the country reopening again, those growing tensions over whether it's safe tonight, here the crowds, the questions, and the workers who are torn, some who say it's just too soon, others who say the risk of going back is simply the reality we all now face. Here's Eva Pilgrim.
Tonight, more than 130,000 auto workers back on the job for the first time in 8 weeks, some with mixed feelings.
Shouldn't be here. It's not fair.
The big three car makers restarting production.
Life is risk. I think this is a minor one. I'm willing to take it to put food on the table.
Workers now getting screened with temperature checks.
You've been around anyone that had COVID in the last 14 days that you're aware of?
Wearing masks, gloves, and protective eyewear. It comes as many Americans appear eager to get back to some semblance of normal life. Over the weekend, beaches in Los Angeles packed despite orders barring sunbathing. In New Jersey, one of the hardest hit states, thousands crowding boardwalks and flocking to the beach as well.
It's nice to soak up the sun back on the beach.
This morning, defiance outside this New Jersey gym.
USA! USA!
Determined to open its doors despite state orders.
Social distancing rules in place, temperatures taken out the door.
Today, Massachusetts becoming the 49th state to start to reopen. Connecticut to follow on Wednesday.
We cannot move forward unless we commit to continuing to slow the spread.
But tonight, concern about the spread after scenes like this at bars and restaurants, even on hiking trails.
Too many people without a mask.
In New York, officers wading through the crowds with banners showing what 6 feet apart looks like. Tonight, cases of the virus still on the rise in 10 states. Texas reopening gyms 2 days after marking its highest one-day increase in cases. Hundreds tied to meatpacking plants.
When we increase testing in hotspots, the number of people testing positive is going to spike. Then what we find is that usually within a week or two, the flare-up is contained.
And social distancing is an issue across the country. This park putting down circles to show people just how far apart they need to be. David?
Yeah, we can see some of those circles over your shoulders there, Eva. Thank you. Let's hope it works. There is another major headline meantime this Monday evening. The president firing the inspector general at the State Department. The president late today saying Secretary Pompeo asked him to fire the IG, and so he did. Secretary Pompeo now saying he did not know he was under scrutiny by the IG. Here's Martha Raddatz tonight.
Tonight, President Trump defending the ousting of State Department Inspector General Steve Linick at Pompeo's request.
I was happy to do it. Mike requested that I do it. He should have done it a long time ago.
Linick's office was working on 2 investigations, including of Pompeo himself, according to the chair of the House Foreign Affairs Committee. Congressman Eliot Engel telling ABC News the watchdog was investigating Pompeo's declaration of an emergency last May to sell $8 billion worth of arms to Saudi Arabia, bypassing Congress, and accusations that Pompeo used a staffer to run personal errands like dog walking and picking up dry cleaning.
Maybe he's negotiating with Kim Jong-un, okay, about nuclear weapons, so that he'd say, please, could you walk my dog? Do you mind walking my dog? And you know what? I'd rather have him on the phone with some world leader than have him wash dishes because maybe his wife isn't there.
Pompeo telling the Washington Post late today he was unaware of the investigations, saying it was not possible that this decision was based on any effort to retaliate because I simply don't know. I'm not briefed on these investigations.
So why did Pompeo fire Linick? He said Linick was not performing the way he wanted him to and was not additive for the State Department. David?
All right, Martha Raddatz, thank you. Meantime, we are learning much more tonight about that deadly terror attack at a naval base in Pensacola last December. Tonight, authorities now revealing the Saudi gunman in flight school there was in contact with al-Qaeda the night before the attack. Here's Pierre Thomas.
Today, the nation's top 2 law enforcement officials claiming al-Qaeda was behind last December's deadly attack on a military installation in Pensacola, killing 3 U.S. service members and wounding 8 others. They say Mohammed Saeed al-Shamrani, a member of the Saudi Royal Air Force, was conferring with al-Qaeda up until the night before the attack.
He wasn't just coordinating with them about planning and tactics. He was helping the organization make the most it could out of his murders.
ISIS may have dominated headlines recently, but authorities say the case is a chilling reminder of al-Qaeda remaining lethal nearly 19 years after 9/11.
Al-Qaeda's offshoots, including AQAP, remain intent on attacking us wherever they can.
Barr and Ray offered blistering criticism of Apple, who they claim refused to help unlock the shooter's phones. It took FBI computer experts 4 months to open them.
We received effectively no help from Apple.
David, tonight, strong pushback from Apple claiming it did help the FBI and give data from the suspects' phones. Apple said law enforcement's claims are just an excuse to weaken iPhone encryption and the privacy of consumers. David?
All right, Pierre, thank you. When we come back, the tropical storm off the coast, the tornado watches, and remembering a beloved actor.
You turn 40 and everything goes.
Tell me about it.
You know, it's made me think I'm closer to my retirement days than I am my college days. I'm thinking, will I have enough? Should I change something?
Well, you're asking the right questions.
Well, I just want to know, am I going to be okay?
I know people who specialize in am I going to be okay.
I like that.
You may need glasses, though.
Yeah. Guidance to help you stay on track, no matter what comes next.
You wouldn't accept an incomplete job from anyone else, so why accept it from your allergy pills? Flonase relieves your worst symptoms, which most pills don't. Get all-in-one allergy relief for 24 hours with Flonase.
It's best we stay apart for a bit, but you're not alone. We're automatically refunding our customers a portion of their personal auto premiums. Learn more at libertymutual.com/COVID-19.
With moderate to severe ulcerative colitis or Crohn's, your plans can change in minutes. Your head wants to do one thing, but your gut says, not today. If your current treatment isn't working, ask your doctor about Entyvio. Entyvio acts specifically in the GI tract to prevent an